Good morning and welcome to today's maths lesson. So this is our last lesson on angles. So we are investigating today vertically opposite angles. So what do we know so far? We know that all the angles on a straight line add up to 180 degrees. Now we're going to be using that information an awful lot today, so that's definitely one you're going to need to remember. We also know that all the angles in a triangle add up to 180 degrees. Now, this one is something that we have mentioned, but really goes back to what you would have learned last year and the year before. So angles at a point add up to 360 degrees. Again, we're going to use that information today. And then finally, we know, don't we, from the investigations we've been doing the last couple of days, that angles in a quadrilateral, in a four-sided shape, add up to 360 degrees as well. So our first question, we've got a table there and it's asking us to complete the measurements for experiment C. Let's look at angle A first of all. So in the table, it tells us that angle A is 50 degrees. So how could we work out what angle B is? If we look at angle A and B, they are both on a straight line. Can you remember what angles on a straight line add up to? All right, 180 degrees. So A plus B equals 180 degrees. So if angle A equals 50, then angle B must equal 130. That then leads us on to being able to find angle C, because again, if you look at that picture, B and C are on a straight line again, and angles on a straight line add up to 180 degrees. So if we've just worked out that B is 130 degrees, then C must be 50 degrees. 180 minus 130 equals 50. So what about finding angle D? We've got a choice now. We can either do A and D, because they're on a straight line, or we can do C and D. If we know C is 50, then 180 minus 50 gives us 130. If we know that A is 50, 180 minus 50 gives us 130. So D must be 130. If we look at experiment 2, we can see that angle A in this case is 60. So angle A and B, again, are on that straight line. What do angles on a straight line add up to? 180 degrees, well done. So 180 minus 60 will tell us what angle B is. So angle B is 120. Then we can do B and C. So 180 take away 120 will mean that C is 60. And then we can go for angle D. So A and D are on the straight line. If A is 60, we can do 180 minus 60, which gives us 120. So what about in experiment 3? We know that angle A is 140 degrees. So A and B are on a straight line. So 180 take away 140 means that B is going to be 40 degrees. B and C are also on a straight line. So 180 take away 40 will leave us 140. So C is 140 degrees. What about D? Well, D and A are on a straight line. Angles on a straight line add up to 180 degrees. So if A is 140, then D must be 40 degrees. So here we've got that explained again. So you can see where the red parts are on each of the angles. So this is experiment 3 here. with A being 140 degrees. Can you see that A and B are now on a straight line? So therefore B must be 40. Can you see that A and D are on a straight line? Therefore D must be 40. And then B and C are on a straight line. So if B is 40, C must be 140. So what generalization could we use here to help us? We could state angles on a straight line add up to 180 degrees. So Lexi notices a pattern in the results. Some of the angles always seem to be equal. Can you explain this? So let's look at experiment 1. So we've got A and C are equal, but also B and D are equal. On experiment 2, A and C are equal, B and D are equal. What did we work out in experiment 3? We worked out, didn't we, that A and C were equal and B and D were equal. So we could use a bar model to show this. We've got vertically opposite angles. So A and C are vertically opposite angles. And as we can see from the bar model there, C and A are always going to be the same size because they are measurements on a straight line. So we can state that vertically opposite angles are equal. If we look at that first picture, B plus C equals 180. But also B plus A equals 180. So can you see from the bar that A and C are the same size? Let's move on. Okay, we're going to use our new knowledge, vertically opposite angles are equal, to help us work out the missing angles in these questions. So let's look at A. If we look at 100 and angle A, they are on a straight line. So A plus 100 equals 180. So A must be 80. C is opposite A, it's vertically opposite, and we know that vertically opposite angles are equal. So C must also be 80. We can check that by doing 100 plus C equals 180. And yes, of course, that gives us 80. We also know that B is vertically opposite 100. So what do you think angle B would be? It's 100 degrees. Well done. So with B, look at your angles on a straight line for F and for 43. F plus 43 degrees equals 180 degrees. That will help you calculate F. We can do D as well. D plus 43 degrees equals 180 degrees. So you can work out the answer for D. E is vertically opposite 43. So I'm guessing that E should be 43, but we can double check that by doing F plus E equals 180 degrees. Now on C, what do you notice that is different in C? Have we got two straight lines that cross at a point? This one isn't straight, is it? So therefore, our vertically opposite angles do not work because this is not a straight line. We can find H because 62 and H is on a straight line. So 62 plus h equals 180 degrees. But actually, we can't find those other angles. So in this question, an angle has been measured and is 70 degrees. Explain how you know that B is also 70 degrees. How can you calculate angle C? Well, if the angle that's measured is 70 degrees and B is the vertically opposite angle because two straight lines cross at a point, then we also know that that is 70 degrees. But we can double check. Why don't you have a go at working out C first, because 70 plus C equals 180. Then you can work out and double check that B is 70 because you can do C plus B equals 180. Have a go at double checking. Right, into our practice books. So the first question, all of those lines cross at a point. They're straight lines that cross at a point. So your job is to find out which is the missing angle. So you're going to use your knowledge that vertically opposite angles are equal. That will help you with the first two and the last one. And the third one, you're going to need to use your knowledge about angles on a straight line. So 125 plus something equals 180. On question 2, which diagram does not show vertically opposite angles? Do you remember that one that I've just showed you on the other page that I ringed the lines and said it wasn't a straight line? You're looking for one of those. On question 3, you're finding the missing angles. So you're using your vertically opposite angles are equal knowledge as well as angles on a straight line equal 180. Question 5, you need to complete the table, so you'll need to draw that out. So angle A is less than angle B, is 20 degrees less than angle B. So in experiment 2, angle A is twice as large as angle B. You'll need to draw a bar to help you here. Remember that in each one, opposite angles are equal. Think about your angles on a straight line. They equal 180. And it might help you to remember that angles at a point equal 360 degrees. If you're struggling, remember you've got your need more practice there. And then there are some challenges. And of course, you've got the answers at the end. Make sure you mark what you've done. Go back and make any corrections that you need to. Remember, you can watch this video again. If you're still not sure, when you submit your work on Teams today, then send me a message of where you've gone wrong, and I will try and help you from there. Have fun.